Okay, welcome back to this video, and now we are going to see one of the most simple vulnerabilities of the web application, which is the HTML injection. Let's start with its definition. What is HTML injection? HTML injection is injecting HTML code into a website. Yeah, simple as that. And how exactly does it work? Well, here is an example. Let's say we have a very simple web page that performs only one task, which is to ask the client to enter their names inside of a user input field. Once the person enters their name, for example, let's say that is Tom, so code is behind the scenes. So let's say that I enter a name, for example, let's say it's Tom, and when the name that I have entered is reflected and displayed on the web page, we can know that there is possibility for an HTML injection. But how can you be sure HTML code will be injected and reflected and processed? So there are two things that we can know. Once the HTML code is injected to the website, we can know for sure whether there is an HTML injection or not for that vulnerability. So if that website processes the HTML code as a regular text, or it can process it as HTML injection. And once that website processes it as an HTML injection and outputs it as test header size 1, and we can conclude that the website is vulnerable to HTML injection and the user input isn't filtered well enough to block HTML tags and HTML codes. Yeah, so as you can see this in here, and the website, yes, this is an HTML code. So, and when the HTML is processed as HTML code and it is outputted as test, which is for header size 1, we can know for sure that is an HTML injection vulnerability. Okay, so this is the theory of it, and we are going to see practical examples. And without further ado, let's get into it. So go ahead to your Kali links mission in your Metasploit mission. And for this part, we are going to use the Metasploit web application, and we can find this in our Metasploit. Do this and type ifconfig and get your exploit IP address, and go hit your Kali links mission and open up. Okay, and type in your IP address. Go on to Metasploit. And for this part, we are going to see the practical examples, and let's start off with go out to OWASP top 10 injection, and then go on to via DOM injection and go into the HTML storage. Whatever we enter here, it will be reflected here because it says unable to add key cool because it contains non-alphanumeric. Let's change this one to add key test because it contains non-alphanumeric characters. We can definitely know there is a vulnerability because wherever we type in here, because it's reflected in the web page. So what if we try to inject an HTML code? Header 1, which is test h1 and close, and let's do the same thing in the other input field. Okay, if I hit add new, voila, as you can see here, whatever we inject the HTML code is displayed right here and it's test. So this is our first practical example, and let's go ahead to the second one. Let's go on to injection, and let's go on to this one, which is now I don't think that's the one. Injection, where is HTML injection? Okay, let's go on to this one. As you can see here, we don't have any user input fields. We don't have anything to input our code, but we have one small detail that can be, important as and in return that we can exploit. And it says the browser version Mozilla Linux x86 64-bit Firefox and so on and so on. And if you have remembered in the previous videos, this was displayed in the user agent fields, and with using the burp suite we can use the user agent to enter whatever code we want. So let's go ahead and try to see this and capture the request and see whether we can capture this user agent or the browser version. And I will go here to my burp suite and go on to intercept and make it on. And let's go ahead and refresh this. So let me go into my burp suite. Okay, we can see the user agent field right here, and we can definitely inject an HTML code. So let us go ahead and do that. H1, and let's make it underlined if it will. Sorry, again, let's make test, and of course close it. Sorry, come on. Okay, and header 1, okay, so this is our code. We're gonna make it header 1 size, and we are going to also underline it, which is for this word right here, the test, and close tags for both of them. And let's try to forward and turn intercept off, and let's go ahead and check it out to our website. Okay, voila, as we did here, we got our HTML injection code. We made header 1 size for the test, and we also underline it. Okay, in this part we didn't have any user input, so we exploit that there is definitely parameters that we can use by using burp suite, and we exploit that part. Okay, great. This was our discussion on HTML injection, and I hope you get something. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and see you in the next